Alright, YouTube gang, I am back. It's your boy Friday Random Media, and I'm here with episode 4 of the Versus Battle series on my YouTube channel. Episode 4, Season 1. And Season 1 is almost there. I know I took a little bit of a break here. I went on tour with the band I'm in. I did drop like a 20-minute episode last time, so here I am. I'm back with this episode. Let's stop stalling and let's get into it. So, today's episode, we got two masterful assassins. Two insanely tricky combatants. The Phantom Menace, Darth Maul of the Star Wars universe, versus the Terminator, aka Deathstroke of the DC universe. I'm not going to go into too much backstory. You know how I rock with it. We're going to get in these categories. First category is going to be strength. Raw strength. Let's break it down. And we're going to begin with Darth Maul. Now, the saber-swinging Sith, how strong is he? Well, Darth Maul's strength is almost always enhanced by the Force and his hate. Maul has been able to clash sabers with the best of the best, both Jedi and Sith, including Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and even Emperor Palpatine for a while. Darth Maul has been seen to overpower several opponents at one time throughout his entire career. He's also been able to crush blasters and lightsabers with his bare hands. With his Force abilities, such as Force Push and Pull, Maul has been shown to have the power to move objects weighing a multitude of tons, although it's never exactly calculated because, Star Wars metal, it's fictional, all that kind of shit. But it's at least safe to put Maul in at least like a 10-tonner range when he uses his Force abilities. Now, on to Deathstroke. Deathstroke's strength is enhanced via Super Soldier, Super Assassin Serum. You know what it be. This allows Deathstroke to clash with Batman and overpower Batman many times. Deathstroke has been shown lifting, throwing things like snowblowers and stuff that could range between 500 to 1,000 pounds. I mean, not too many lifting feats here. He's also been able to cut a car in half with this sheer strength, which is pretty impressive, if you can cut through something like a car with just sheer strength. If I was to compare Deathstroke's strength to a Marvel character, I might put him on Captain America type level. Although Cap has better raw lifting feats, Deathstroke is very similar in that range. So who would take the strength category in my opinion? Just based off the Force push-pull ability by itself, I'm going to give Darth Maul the strength category, which may be cheap. I don't know, maybe that's cheap. But we're going to get into category number 2, which is attack power and durability. Attack power and durability will almost act as a strength part 2, but there is a difference as this category will not only be the power or the potency of their attacks, but also the durability, how well they can tank and handle attacks. Not their defense, but how well they can take attacks. Now, attack power and durability. Let's start off with Deathstroke. Deathstroke attack power and durability is greatly affected by his gear. At his absolute strongest gear, Deathstroke has tanked punches from Superman, a barrage of Superman punches, while Slade's also been able to use his armor to redirect punches and actually injure people like Superman, Bizarro, and even Lobo at a point. But I don't know, if you ask me, that's kind of iffy. Lobo is up there. So maybe an inconsistent feat. But scaling Deathstroke down to his more consistent, Deathstroke's attack power and durability is still impressive. He can tank gunfire, tank missiles with the help of his armor, and he can even block lasers. He can block Superman's heat vision with his sword. And even without the armor, Deathstroke can be hit with a multitude of bullets and wounds, only to heal at a pretty rapid pace. I wouldn't say Wolverine level healing, but it's up there. He's able to tank this damage and then go to continue the fight. So, semi-lethal wounds can be re-healed at a quick rate to keep him in a fight. However, things like organs of that sort, usually not. That will usually not heal for him, as you can see with his eyeball. Now, let's get into attack power and durability for Darth Maul. Like I stated before, Darth Maul's attack power and durability isn't all sheer physicality. It's greatly enhanced by his Force abilities. Also stated before, Darth Maul is able to shatter blasters and sabers with his bare hands. Of course, Maul can one-shot Jedi with his lightsaber, and he's even been able to one-shot enemies with his Force hacks, which we'll get into that. Darth Maul has also shattered an opponent's spine with a single shot from his elbow. 6'9" his ass. This, of course, isn't happening to Sidious or Darth Vader or anything, but Darth Maul still hangs with some of the big dogs, you know. Maul's greatest durability feat, in my opinion, is when he was cut in half completely by Obi-Wan Kenobi and proceeded to fall over 100 feet down a vent, and then used the Force and his hate to stay alive. I mean, just being cut in half, your durability's got to be crazy strong to survive that. And then to come back, I don't know. And then later on, after he was cut in half, Darth Maul attached metal legs to himself that were able to one-shot Wookiees. And Wookiees are pretty damn strong. They're pretty damn durable, too. So, let's check it out. When it comes down to attack power and durability, category number 2. Well, while Deathstroke's armor and weapons grant him insanely high durability and attack power at times, Darth Maul was able to use his power to survive and recover from being cut in half. He was able to tank it and come back. Even stronger. So I'm going to give attack power and durability to Darth Maul. Now, category number 3, combat speed. Both characters have impressive speed in the pocket. So let me break that down. Beginning with Darth Maul. It should be obvious that a Force user has some nutty combat speed feats, regular matching, and even completely outclassing Jedi and countless other enemies, especially in the speed department. Darth Maul moves so fast, he's nearly undetectable in the pocket. When it comes to ranged attacks, it's practically impossible to even touch Darth Maul, as he's able to move through rooms full of gunfire without being touched. Now, this really isn't as fast as blocking or dodging laser blasters as he usually does. But one of my favorite Darth Maul things that he's done is he was ambushed by arrows. Some people were shooting arrows at him, and he plucked 4 arrows out of the air and then threw the arrows back with enough power and speed to one-shot each person who fired the arrow. That's just dumb. Now, we're going to get into Deathstroke's combat speed. Deathstroke, which is, somewhat inconsistent. He's also shown some insane speed in the pocket, crazy speed with the hands, and even more. Deathstroke can casually blitz several targets at once, easily dismantling groups of armed soldiers, guards, you know the vibes. In combat, Deathstroke can dodge and block gunfire, much like his opponent. Deathstroke has also caught arrows and even batarangs out of midair. Now, for the super soldier type character, you might say that's expected, but Deathstroke's shown to be fast enough to block Superman's heat vision and other lasers with his sword. Not only that, but he's also been shown to sword fight with the Flash and actually keep up with the hands. He was able to keep up with the Flash in a sword fight. And to me, that is just crazy, man. I don't know. That's just crazy dumb. Maybe that's inconsistent, or maybe he was buffed. I don't know. But I'm going to throw it on because that's just crazy dumb. So both opponents have some crazy combat speed. They both show the ability to easily keep up and surpass high-level opposition. While Maul's dodging and agility is greater, Deathstroke's swordsmanship in combat, like hand-to-hand, seems to be greater. So I'm going to make this a draw. Yeah, that's right. Controversial take. Combat speed is going to be a tie. Now, I'm going to get into category number 4, Battle IQ. Category number 4, starting with Deathstroke. Deathstroke's battle IQ is one of his greatest weapons. Because of Deathstroke's increased brain function, which we will talk about here in a little bit, because of Deathstroke's increased brain function, he's able to utilize his battle IQ in a unique way that most opponents struggle to deal with. When it comes to skill, Deathstroke matches Batman in hand-to-hand combat, even able to take the W in a few of their scraps. Deathstroke is also a master swordsman, as we've talked about. One of the greatest swordsmen in DC Universe, in fact. And he's also a master marksman, able to hang with the likes of Deadshot. And Deadshot is ridiculous with the shot. So, Slade is also a master tactician, as I said before, matching Batman in the tactician department. Not only his mid-battle IQ, like his battle IQ in the midst of the fight, but his prep time and his gear allowed Deathstroke to scrap with several Justice League members, Teen Titan members at one time. When it comes down to Deathstroke's style, it's important to remember that he is an assassin. So while he is a master of combat in all sorts of forms, it's still his stealthy approach that helps him grant the upper hand many times. Now, turning over to the dark side with Darth Maul, Maul's battle IQ. Darth Maul is a trained master at lightsaber combat on top of being an excellent hand-to-hand combatant. In lightsaber combat, he's a master of Form 7, Form 6, and high level at Form 5. I'm not going to go to, too deep into what these forms are, but basically, Maul's main form, Form 7, it's his most iconic style. He uses the double-bladed saber. It's not just about aggressive attacks and chaotic movement, but this fighting style is also about channeling emotions and anger to enhance the fighting prowess. So this is very much, useful for Maul's personality and his fighting style. It also matches his physical attributes, as he's very strong, aggressive. He likes to use acrobatics, and he enjoys chaos in the pocket of the fight. So, of course, Darth Maul's fighting style is a problem for the best of the best, as we've seen him fight off both Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi at the same time before he actually killed Qui-Gon Jinn. Darth Maul also handedly defeated 3 Sith Inquisitors who are worthy opponents on their own. A lot of his career, Darth Maul's just spent soloing several opponents countless times. When he gained his metal legs, he was even more efficient. Essentially, a Jedi assassin, Darth Maul often prefers up-close combat. He likes to inflict pain at a close range, and he likes to let his frenzied attacks do the work opposed to his force attacks. Although, occasionally, Maul does mix in his force pushes, his force pulls. He'll push and pull his enemies. Sometimes he'll push and pull random objects. The downside to Maul's battle IQ is that he often overlooks his opponents, and as we've seen with Obi-Wan, Darth Maul can get caught in his emotions, as many Sith do. And now, because of this, I have to give Deathstroke the battle IQ category. Deathstroke often utilizes his IQ to beat higher tier foes, while Maul's IQ allows his foes to have a chance on him. That's just unacceptable. So, Deathstroke is going to take category number 4. So, let's get into it. Our final category. Number 5. Powers, hacks, and abilities. And gear. We throw gear on there too. So, powers, hacks, abilities, gear. Starting with Darth Maul. We'll go into this category in a list kind of format. So, first and foremost, Darth Maul's force abilities, such as his push and pull, which can toss several opponents at once, even move multi-ton objects. Y'all know I talked about that earlier. Darth Maul does have force choke as well, although he rarely uses it in a straight-up duel. He just doesn't really do that. He likes the close-range combat. Now, Maul's force hacks that are like cheat codes. Darth Maul has the ability to focus. It can act as pre-battle cognition. He can even heal himself to insane extents, as we've seen when he was cut in half. He used the force to stay alive and even come back stronger. Now, we've also seen Maul use some internal organ attacks, straight up stopping people's hearts, stopping their organ functions, and killing them that way. Although, like I said, this isn't something Darth Maul really does in his duels. He likes to inflict pain with the saber. He likes to get up close and lay the hands on you. So, let's get into another sort of passive ability from the Force, is Maul's hate and Darth Maul's rage. Darth Maul is full of negative emotions like revenge. He wants revenge. He's pissed off all the time. And this empowers the dark side inside of Darth Maul and pretty much amps his power, although it does affect his battle IQ in negative ways. I talked about that. Now on to Darth Maul's gear. Darth Maul gained mechanized robot spider-like legs after he was cut in half. The legs grant Maul superior agility, speed, strength, and can one-shot Jedi Knights and one-shot Wookiees. This is some crazy shit. Darth Maul, of course, also uses his double-bladed saber, iconic, which he's slain countless foes with. Darth Maul's lightsaber is comparable to most other lightsabers. It's just got double bladed and it's red, Sith style. A saber with enough force behind it, though, can cut through impruvium metal, which is designed to tank hits from starships. So you got to have a lot of power to go through that. So that's impressive. Now, we're going to move on to Deathstroke's powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. So, as we went over before, Deathstroke has enhanced speed, strength, agility, overall enhanced physical abilities. His most impressive hacks are his improved brain function, which I mentioned earlier. So, this allows him to think, observe, assess, ultimately just make decisions way faster in the heat of battle. He's able to utilize almost his entire brain at the same time. So this is dangerous not only because Slade has a higher tier battle IQ, which he uses it against, like I said, Justice League, Teen Titans, all of these goobers. He uses it at an increased speed, putting him at several steps ahead of his enemy. Another impressive ability of Deathstroke's is his healing factor. His healing factor allows him to heal from minor to mildly fatal wounds, although he does need more time to heal from severe wounds and injuries. Talked about that earlier. Moving on to Deathstroke's gear. Now this is Deathstroke's bread and butter. Slade has some insane gear, beginning with his swords. In this battle, we're going to be going with his nth metal swords or his promethium swords. Sometimes they're interchangeable. I don't know. Someone correct me on that. It's always been unclear to me. So, nth metal or promethium, these are one of, if not the most durable and strongest metals in the DC universe. So Deathstroke's swords have been shown to block Superman's laser vision, along with all sorts of other ballistic attacks, range attacks, laser attacks. It has the ability to do damage against higher tier opponents like, a majority of the Justice League. Now, along with his sword, Slade carries a rifle and some handguns. So we'll say an automatic rifle and 2 handguns. All are usually armor or tank-piercing rounds. Slade is beyond efficient with his firearms, as I said that before. Now, let's talk about Slade's promethium armor. Just like the nth metal armor, I think sometimes, like I said, they're assumed to be the same metal, but they could be different. I think they are different. I don't know. Someone clear that up. Someone clear it up for me. Deathstroke's armored suit allows him to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Superman, tanking flurries of Clark's punches. Although, he's also withstood Bizarro's attacks. He's even damaged Lobo with his armor, which, like I said earlier, is questionable because Lobo he's high up there, man. He's done some crazy shit. So, let's look back at category number 5. It looks like a battle of force, ability, and gear. Like, Deathstroke has a strong emphasis on his armor, on his weapons, on his gear. Darth Maul has 2 solid, dependable pieces of gear, but he has his force hacks and his force abilities. So, because of Deathstroke's increased cognitive function, I think it's going to wrap it up as a tie in the powers, hacks, abilities, and gear category. I think it's going to be a tie. We got the force and, Star Wars tech versus promethium nth metal tech in Deathstroke's high tier battle IQ. All right, now that we've gone over all 5 categories, it's time to peep the verdict. Let's check it out. Strength category, Maul takes it. Attack power durability category, Maul takes it. Combat speed category, it's a tie. Battle IQ category, Deathstroke takes it. Powers, hacks, abilities, and gear category, it's a tie. Now, how exactly do I see this battle playing out? Well, It begins with Deathstroke on an assassination mission on the edge of the galaxy. With the target in sight, his target suddenly drops dead, and his killer is none other than the cloaked Darth Maul, now staring through the scope at Deathstroke. Slade decides this guy will do, but as he fires the shot, Darth Maul seemingly vanishes from sight, suddenly springing upon the rooftop, drawing his dull-bladed saber. Deathstroke unloads a magazine, all shots being fired, and dodged by the agile Sith. Maul lunges towards Deathstroke, and without a moment to spare, Deathstroke whips out his Prometheum swords. The two duel. Although Deathstroke keeps up in the speed department, Darth Maul's slashes and charges become more and more powerful. Now on the back foot, Deathstroke swaps to one sword and one handgun, cycling between dueling, evading, and firing at range. However, Darth Maul is relentless with it. When Darth Maul notices Slade trying to make distance, Maul uses his force pull ability to bring Slade back into range. Deathstroke takes note of this telekinetic power from Maul and plans a counterstrike. Slade continues his cycle and makes range, but upon Maul force-pulling Slade back into range, Slade lunges in close, slashing Darth Maul's saber in half. As Maul was impressed, Deathstroke got a shot off, to which Maul blocks. But this is a metal bullet, so upon impact with the saber, the bullet melts and splashes Darth Maul, searing half of his face. Filled with rage now, Darth Maul uses the Force to crush Slade's pistol. Deathstroke reverts back to his two swords, and the two begin their double-sworded duel. Badass. Darth Maul's acrobatic style is unlike anything Deathstroke has ever seen, and Deathstroke decides that if he's going to win, he needs to mix it up. The two clash, and Deathstroke uses his suit's power, his kinetic redistribution, to knock both swords from Maul's hands. As Slade goes for a final strike, Darth Maul uses his metal legs to kick Slade, knocking him back near the building's ledge. Now, with no swords from either of them, Deathstroke returns to a trusty handgun, firing the entire magazine at Maul. But at this point, Darth Maul wants blood. Maul stops the bullets with the Force and sends them firing back at Deathstroke, who just narrowly dodges every bullet. Darth Maul force pulls Deathstroke close again, kicking him with enough force to crack the rooftop. Deathstroke attempts to respond with some hands of his own, throwing his own hands, but the strength and the speed and the mixed-in force attacks overwhelm Deathstroke. Darth Maul continues the cycle of striking down Deathstroke over and over again until finally, brutally kicking Slade over the ledge to his supposed death. Now that's right, I think Darth Maul takes this fight. I think Darth Maul is the victor. However, upon recouping after the grueling fight, Darth Maul is confused by a man flying overhead with a red cape and an S on his chest.